Hello, everyone. Scott Zambelli here with Odd Musings, and today I'm flying solo. So strap in and prepare yourself for a bumpy ride. No, just kidding. Brett, him and Kevin Meinert, they were representing Bardstone over the weekend over at Colorado Springs Comic-Con out in Denver. By Denver, Colorado Springs, Colorado. So they had a good weekend out there, and if I understand their schedule correctly, today he's flying home, so he won't be available to join us today. But he'll be back next week. So all went well based on everything I've heard. So wish him a safe trip home, him and Kevin both. So today I'm going to cover a couple things. Don't know if I'll go the full hour, but we'll see where this ride takes us and go from there. But first, I want to talk about our, as you know, I'm also a real estate agent. Joe Webler and I, we're Team Titans of Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. Even though we utilize the latest in tools and technology to maximize your home buying and or selling experience, we never forget at its core, it's a people business. So give us a call, 586-232-5144 today. I've been saying it quite a bit lately, and I'm going to repeat it because it's important. If you are a buyer or an attempted buyer over these last few years where you really wanted to get into the owning your own home, now might be a good time to jump in, because we're at a point right now where there's been a little bit of a correction in the marketplace. The sellers, it's been a seller's market for so long. The only way you could buy a house that was halfway decent was you would get involved in heavy bidding wars. You would need tons of extra cash available to pay for appraisal guarantees and everything. So, you would have to come in, $40,000 above asking with $40,000 cash to back it up as a guarantee in case it didn't appraise high enough. Those kind of things. People were waiving inspections, which isn't a good thing. But, you're being competitive to win the offer, whatever you could do. So that kind of condition, we're not seeing that now. If a house is top notch, move-in ready, everything's done, those are still getting bidding wars. Those are still selling fast. But the houses that maybe they need new roofs or new windows or updates done throughout, on average, they're lasting about 2-3 weeks, depending on where you're at least here in the local Southeast Michigan area here where we work. We cover the Macomb and Oakland counties primarily, but we also do a lot in St. Clair County. We've even gone as far north as Flint, as far west as out by Lansing. So we have a very wide range of what we do and that we cover. So give us a call, 586-232-5144. We help walk you through the process. And if you're looking to sell your house, it's still a good time to sell. Like I said, it's a correction. There's no reason to panic. It's just a correction that's happening, and we're not seeing the crazy wars. But it's more vital than ever right now, if you're a seller, to use agents who are experienced. That's why you want to give Jill and I a call to list your house, because we understand pricing. Pricing is so crucial. A lot of sellers want to overprice, especially thinking that the market is like it was a couple of years ago, where you would get bidding wars over 40,000, whatever. You got to price it right up front, because when you go too high, you are going to get into situations where your house is going to sit too long. And, long story short, it's kind of like buying bread at the grocery store. At some point, the age of the bread is going to get too old, and then everything's about slashing the price to keep people interested. The next thing you know, you're trying to sell it way below value just to get someone to pick it up and buy it. That's how houses are. Your biggest surge is going to be that first 1 to 3 weeks. That's your big surge. After that, the interest starts declining. The buyers out there are saying, oh, we already saw that one listed, we're not interested. And then you start getting into the point where people start saying, well, what's wrong with it? And then they start offering lowball offers. So pricing strategies have evolved over the years. The consumer is much more savvy. There's more information at their fingertips. So you can't use outdated strategies that worked 20, 30, 40 years ago. it's a whole different game now, because it used to be a 30-day cycle wasn't that bad, but the time frame for everything was much longer back then. Now buyers, both realtors and buyers, they have the information at their fingertips. They're able to go online. They're able to look at the history of the house. They can see, was it listed prior? That's another thing. The old trick, the old school days was you just take the listing off the market and then turn around, put it right back on, and it would look like a new listing. Well, now even a buyer who's not working with someone, they can look online at websites and they can see the history, and they can see, oh, they had this on the market for the last 2 years, but they keep pulling it off and putting it on to make it look like a new listing. So the buyers see that. They're much more savvy now in their decision-making process. They have more data at their fingertips. So with all of the speed of technology and everything and access of information, that home buying process really has been compressed from a 30 to 60-day process many years ago down to a 2-week process now. So you need agents that understand the market and how to work it. I've had my license. I got it in 2002 is when I got my real estate license. Jill got hers 2018, early 2018. She got hers. So we have many years of experience. We've seen markets in all different categories. Like if you find a real estate agent that has had their license for the last 4 to 5 years, they've never experienced a market where they actually had to know how to sell. They entered into the industry at a time where, you just simply put it out there and a million people show up and just throw offers your way. So that's why experience matters. Even with agents who've had a few years of experience, they might not know what it takes to actually market and sell a home. So give us a call, 586-232-5144, and we'll take good care of you. All right. So that's that. Let's get that off the stage there. So I'm going to get a little bit into a personal matter here really quick, because today, August 20th, 2025, 2 years ago today, I died. So today is kind of a birthday in a way. I'm 2 years old, and from a certain point of view, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. So 2 years ago, I went through a interesting experience, to say the least. Don't really have memories of it, though. People always ask me if I remember it. I don't have any memories. I have a large chunk of memory missing from that period. But long story short, leading up to it, we were, actually, I think Jill's watching right now. My girlfriend, Jill, she was, I had some weird feelings going on, and she was telling me I should go see a doctor, and, it could be a heart attack. But, I had a doctor's appointment coming up. This was like a Friday or something, leading up to it, I had a couple days where I had this discomfort happening, like a tightness in my neck and a weird feeling going on here in this area. And so I Googled it, looked it up, and one of the things it said is because I wasn't getting any of the major symptoms. I didn't get the numbness in the arm, like the top 3 or 4 items that it said for a heart attack, I wasn't feeling at all. And so for me, I'm like, well, maybe it's something else. And it is weird. I gotta say, like you'll hear people all the time talk about like it felt like indigestion or heartburn, or it's a weird feeling. That's all I know. For me, it was this tightness right here. It wasn't happening anywhere else, just here. And when I would go to bed at night, that tightness would get really strong when I would lay down on my back. So when I looked it up, it said, well, if you lay on your stomach and it goes away, it could be a sign of water on the heart, or I don't know what the technical term is, but your heart is in there and you have a sac around it. And there's a condition where water can build up inside of there. So when I would lay on my stomach, that feeling of tightness went away. So that's what I thought I was experiencing. And so going into that weekend, I had a doctor's appointment coming up anyways on Monday. So my thought was, okay, I'll talk to my doctor about it and get some tests scheduled. I didn't want to go to the ER and stuff. So, oh, Michael Hall's popping in. Hey, Michael. All is well. Thank you. And I also have been praying for you and your family as well. I hope you guys are doing well. You've been in my thoughts and prayers. But yeah, so since that feeling would go away when I would lay down on my stomach, I thought, well, maybe it's that water around the heart thing. Well, it obviously wasn't. It turned into more than that. I was with Jill the night before, and she recommended I go to the ER. And of course, I said no. Like, I don't need that. I'll be fine. I'll go on Monday. Well, this is where sometime during that evening is when my memories actually don't happen anymore. I don't remember much. But from looking on my cameras, my Blink cameras, the saved videos and stuff, what I could gather was around 4 a.m. that next morning, I got up. I can see myself in the cameras walking out at 4 a.m. to my car and pulling out. I reconstructed this later on through Google because my Google Maps, it tracks my drives. And I was able to see myself driving to Beaumont Hospital. And when I mapped out the distance and the drive time, my drive time was a normal time. So what that tells me is I wasn't like speeding, or because at 4 a.m, the roads are wide open. So it would have been very easy for me to speed all the way there if I wanted to. So I obviously was driving the speed limit based on how long it took to get there, obeying the stop signs and all that. So I'm guessing I obviously felt bad enough to get up at 4 a.m. and drive there, but obviously not panicked because I wasn't speeding to get there. So that's what I did based upon what I can gather. And then from listening to the hospital staff, once I got there, I pulled into the parking lot, and so it's dark. It's 4 a.m. I guess security saw me pull in on their cameras, and thankfully they were watching their cameras. I got out of my car and started walking in, but just as I got out, I guess I passed out. Actually, I died is what happened. I just dropped. And then from the pictures you can see here, what happened is when I fell, I dropped down and then hit my elbow hard. So a lot of the brunt hit my elbow, and then my face is what happened. So that's why in the pictures you can see a lot of blood here. I split my lip open, and had to get stitches. And then I also, above my left eyebrow, on the right side of the screen, the left eyebrow, I also cut above my eyebrow also. So they had to cut my shirt off, and they started CPR right away. From reading through the medical notes, they had to shock me 3 times to get my heart started back up. And so that whole course of all that took about 10 minutes, they said, before they got me back. Later, they were also able to determine, I guess I had a minor stroke or something during all that as well. My memories don't really, then I woke up, I don't know how many days I was out, but I started waking up. I started talking to people. People were visiting me. I don't have memories of that for a couple of days. It's about 3 days later is when my memories start. But I guess I started interacting with everyone prior to then. They were able to get me off of all the tubes and all that fun stuff. And then I was home August 23rd. I think I was in the hospital 3 days, maybe 4, something like that. So I forget now how many days, but it wasn't long because I have a picture of me like just 3 days later, I believe in my kitchen, looking well. So it's amazing how fast the human body responds and can recover and adapt. So anyways, that was my fun 2 years ago. Since then, I've been living life. Got this condo that I bought last year. It's hard to believe I'm almost. I think I'm 10 months now. 9.5 months since I've owned this condo. So I'll be on a year before I know it. I've taken up running again. Right now, I'm at about 20 miles a week is what I've been averaging these last couple of weeks. So my running has been coming back. I've been doing good because I had to take a year off. I couldn't do anything for that year. Well, I'm telling the truth. Technically, I wasn't supposed to be doing anything for a year, but around 6 months in, I started, 8 months in, I started adding runs back into my routine. So what I would do is I would do 3-mile run walks, and I allowed myself to run on the downhills and the flats, and anything uphill I walked. And I just paid attention to myself, my breathing, and how I felt. And if I needed to, I just walked more. Now this year, I've been really able to increase the runs where I'm doing a lot of runs. I'm running anywhere from 4 to 7 miles, depending on the day. And it's been going well. I've been feeling good. I don't have my full speed back, but I'm right now I'm averaging most of my runs. I'm around the 11.5-minute pace right now for my time. I really want to get back to where I'm at about a 10-minute pace, but that's been going well. Getting the itch to maybe do another marathon too. So I'm strongly considering that for next year, to sign up for a marathon next year and go for my 6th one. That'd be nice. Especially since I haven't done a marathon since, I think 2019 was my last one, if I remember right. So that'd be nice. Get a marathon in my 50s. Yeah, I'll be turning 52. I'll be turning 52 here in October. So anyways, happy 2nd birthday to me, in a way, or 3rd birthday. I've got my real birth. Then I've got my born again birth when I recommitted myself to Christ. That was in 2007. And then now in 2023, I had another rebirth there. So good times. So I'll take that picture down. You guys are probably sick of looking at that. Let's see. Let's remove that. All right. Onward to other things. Oh, so just keep track of your health, guys. Pay attention, especially for us. For everyone, medical care is expensive, and especially like I'm self-employed, I'm self-insured, so it's kind of scary to think about going to emergency rooms and what kind of bill that could incur on you. So, since I had a doctor appointment, I decided to wait it out. So had I gone in, I probably would have saved a lot more money, because with my deductible and everything, cost of the heart attack was quite a bit. But thankfully, the insurance covered. I have a large deductible, but I was able to cover that through the deductible and make it out of there. But yeah, pay attention to your body. And I guess the lesson is, if it's a maybe, go get it checked out. All right, let's talk about some other things here. So I've been involved here, I do the real estate. I'm a realtor. I also have Bardstone Publishing. So I just wanted to post this really quick as well. I haven't been able to do many shows. Brett and Kevin have been doing a ton of Comic-Con. So for me, primarily, my way of getting it out there is through online sales. So I just want to post this really quick here. So if you want copies of Crimson Shadows or Wretched Realms or Last Light, any of my comics that I produce, I have them on here. Let me post the link. All right, I'm posting. Helps if I spell words right. There we go. Posting the link down there. So if you go to bonanza.com and look up Bardstone, you will find our online store. There is a coupon. If you buy $50 or more of items, you will get 10% off your order. So make sure to take advantage of that. And we have issues of our books, our enamel pins. We have some of our copies of, we have slabbed comics where it's like professionally graded. So people, you know how it is. Like this particular one is a 9.8 out of 10, which is very good. Also has the signatures on it. So we have different items like that there. So bonanza.com, and check that out. Come on. There we go. We also have original art. I have a whole bunch of concept sketches I did, marker and ink concept sketches. So I have the originals available. So if you want copies of my original sketches for the characters in the book, you can go there and buy those. If you see something you want and have questions about it, just message me. But lots of original art there. Comic books and different things. So check it out. You will. We have a great response rate from people. Once people buy us, they come back. The hardest part for us selling now is it's growing the brand to new readers. We have a good presence. Our return rate is huge. So most of our buyers are repeat buyers because they've read and seen the quality of our work. They know the product itself is good quality. It's printed on quality paper. The writing is quality. The art is quality. We've poured ourselves into this whole thing. So check that out. There. All right. As far as fun stuff, TV stuff, been kind of busy this week, but one show I started is over on Amazon Prime. So I thought I would talk about it briefly. I'm only like 2 episodes in. So it's called Butterfly. And the first episode has a really good start. It's a great action-packed beginning. And it's fun to watch. You might recognize here, this is, and hopefully I don't mess up the pronunciation, Daniel Day Kim. You might recognize him from Lost if you watched Lost. I think he was just in another series. I'm forgetting which one. Here, let me click on him just to see. Because I know, was it the Lost? Oh, he was in Hellboy. He was just in a series. Oh, he's a voice for Pantheon. Oh, this is an animated TV series. Actually, I just started watching that as well. I'm in the first, what's it called? The first episode. So I haven't done much there, but he does a lot of work. He's in a lot of things here that you can see. So he's a good actor. He does a good job. I really liked him in Lost. But let's get back to Butterfly. So it's 6 episodes for season 1 for Butterfly. Long story short, his daughter, which is pictured next to him up there, is like an assassin for some company, some government entity, and he used to work with them. It sounds like he got out of it. And now he's come back to get her out of there because to pull her away from there and the consequences of it. So I'll play this little trailer here, and then I'll talk some more.
I can't let you live the same life I left behind. That's why I came back for you.
Dad? They know all our secrets. We have to take them out.
She won't just let us walk away. We have to finish this together.
As a family.
So that's a quick little peek at it. So So far, I'm liking it. Let's see. IMDb gives it a 6.8 out of 10. So that's, I mean, hard to say. Like I said, I'm only a couple episodes in. So the first episode, the opening, is very well done. The action sequence, very well done. So check that out. And then the other one, actually, I'll show you Pantheon. But like I said, I just started watching it, so I can't really review it yet. But the concept looked interesting. So let me pull up Pantheon. There we go. I'll play this trailer now.
The true breakthrough will come not when we create an artificial intelligence that can think, but one that can feel.
I think Logarithms faked my dad's death and is holding him hostage.
Logarithms? The microchip company?
I heard they're testing a program to upload human brains.
Why expand machine intelligence when we've got the best operating system right here?
This is dangerous tech. You don't want to play with it.
Hi, kiddo.
Dad.
I want to show you something.
How can we be human without a body? Time moves different for us.
Now you can say holy shit.
Holy shit.
Right now, we are the only uploads. But soon there will be others. A future where we are not alone.
This is bigger than your dad or you or me. You don't understand about who these people are, what they're capable of.
I and the others like me cannot be trusted with this power.
There's going to be war, and you have to choose what side you're on.
We were human. We are gods now.
So there's that. So that's one I just started watching as well. So yeah, looks interesting. I'll let you know if it's any good. Outside of that, I'm trying to think. Not much to really cover. I've been working on a new series called The Mourner. Working out the final details of the script, and then we'll be moving forward with producing that. Now, of course, we have Crimson Shadows that's like my Odyssey, my epic poem. So I'm working on the final arc. We have the volume that came out, which was a nice large volume, and I have the volume that comes before it all written and done, and I'm finalizing the last chapter as well, the last volume of books as well. So I'm working on that, and I'm looking forward to getting back into that world to really bring that to a conclusion. The question is, for me, is this is where it's interesting as a writer is, and I see now, like, it's interesting looking back on my life where someone like George Lucas with Star Wars, when he originally wrote Star Wars, he kind of has the main story take place kind of in the middle of a larger story. And when he wrote that, it was intended to be one movie. But then when he sat down to make the movie, he realized the amount of data he had to chop it up into 3 movies. And he had to make a decision where to start it for the theater in case all he ever gets to do is make one movie and it doesn't go on. So he chose what now is known as Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Well, that's kind of what I did with Crimson Shadows. I had to take a look at my larger story and then say, okay, if I'm only going to be able to do one issue or one handful of issues, a small part of the story arc, what section would be able to be a standalone? So I kind of made the choice of where to go. and the part to tell in case it never got bigger than that. It's done well enough. We're very happy with the reception, so we want to move it on. Now, in doing so, the question where I come in is like, do I tell the initial part of the story, or do I just simply move forward and then the initial part of the story I use as flashbacks or whatever to fill it in down the road? I'm starting to lean towards using it as flashbacks so I can keep progressing the story forward, because to stop and go back, I feel like it's kind of takes away. So I'm figuring out the story arc for moving forward, and then how I'm going to integrate the flashback sequences in to tell the full story, and bring it to where I want it to end up. So that's what I've been working on there with Crimson Shadows. The Mourner is going to be self-contained. The whole story is going to be one graphic novel, is my intention there. I don't plan on making that an ongoing series, but the way I do have an ending set up for it, so if it does well enough, and I wanted to bring other people on board to continue that story, I'll be able to. So, but it will have its own full arc, self-contained into the one book. So that's the plan with The Mourner. And then I believe, and then Kevin and Brett are each working on their own things right now. So we're hoping probably for the rest of this year, we probably won't have any more releases this year, but hopefully next year we'll have a couple of releases. So we'll see where that goes. But we'll, of course, stay tuned, and we'll let everyone know when it happens. So that's where we stand there. So I think that's it for now, guys. I'm going to wrap things up so you can all go about your day. No need for me to ramble needlessly, but I hope everyone enjoys their day. And I'll leave you with this, in light of it being the anniversary of my death and resurrection, thanks to God, is there's a TikTok video that I saw where, and I don't know who the original person was who did this. I'm sure, people got it from other people or whatever. But the one interview I saw was he's talking to different people, and he says to them, he goes, if I were to give you, and I'm paraphrasing, if I was to give you $10 million right now, would you take it? And would that make you happy? And of course, everyone says, yes, I'd be thrilled. Oh my God, I'd be so excited, and it would, be amazing. He goes, now, what if I told you the consequence of the 10 million is you won't wake up tomorrow morning? And all of them said, well, I wouldn't want it then. And the whole point he was making is your tomorrow is worth more than $10 million. So every time you wake up in the morning, think of that as a $10 million gift you woke up with, and how different your attitude would be when you wake up. If you woke up this morning and there was a pile of $10 million cash, how would you be living out the rest of your day, attitude wise? How would you be versus how we typically wake up? Like, oh, I got the day, I'm dragging, I'm tired, same as always. But if you're willing to reject $10 million just to make sure you wake up tomorrow, isn't the waking up worth more? So keep that in mind. Every day is a blessing. Hug your loved ones, and take care, everyone. God bless.